I'm Kainton, the Tech Pro, and today we are going to be looking at question 25 of our machine learning question and answer series. And the question is going to be, what is a decision tree? What is it used for? Actually, we are going to be seeing how to build a decision tree. So basically, a decision tree is a tree-like structure that is obtained by continually partitioning the predictor variables or the feature set until a decision is reached. It can be used in supervised learning to perform both classification and regression. So in a decision tree, the selection process, or basically the classification process, is a sequence of binary selections at each step that match the traversal of the tree structure. Now I'm going to take an example and then we actually build a decision tree. So there are two ways or two approaches to building a decision tree. The first one is the feature-based methods, and we have the rule-based. Okay, so I'm going to build a tree. I actually looked for a simple example to use. So let's say you want to determine if an animal is a mammal, and you have several rules that will help you determine if an animal is a mammal. One, does it have four legs? Two, does it have wings? Does it have mammary glands? And so on and so forth. So in that way, let's take for instance, you can say, let's try to build this decision tree. So four legs, uh, yes, no. So just let me draw this correctly. Let me just circulate. So we have yes and no. We have yes, we have no. Now let's assume that the answer is yes. But we also know that sea turtles have four legs and they are not mammals. So what else can we ask? We can ask, does it have wings? So let's say wings. So in this case, you can just draw a conclusion that says not mammal. So, but here it has four legs. Does this have wings? If it has wings, yes. In this case, you have not mammal. Yes, not mammal. No. So here you have, what question can you have? Okay, M glands. I think that this is the one that actually solved the problem. Yes, then you can just say it's mammal. I have no, then you have not mammal. Okay, so we built a decision tree, but one thing I want you to understand in this case is that, of course, we come out to just one single classification. So okay, we have not mammal. There are a number of them. We have in this case, we have not mammal, we have not mammal here, and we have not mammal. So in this case, we build a decision tree that is rule-based. What we use here is rule-based decision tree, rule-based. All right, so I'm going to build another decision tree. This time I'm going to use build it based on attributes, on the attributes of the tree. So in this case, you are given a table of a data set. So it has certain features and it has an output. Let me see if I can make a good drawing. All right, so we have A, we have B, and we have outputs and, okay? So let's say we have true, we have false. So true and false likely will give us false. So we have true and true will give us true, right? If I'm not mistaken, we have false and false. False and false will give us false, if I'm not mistaken. You have false and true will give us false and true give us false as well. So I've chosen to use a small data set. Of course, it can be a data set of many attributes. So one thing you need to figure out in this table is that these are the attributes. Let me just divide it here. This is the class, and this is the attributes. All right, so let's build a decision tree that is based on this data set. All right, so the first thing we want to do is to choose the attribute to start with. That is the question. So let's say we have the output to be x. We have x. Okay, let's just say a. Just let me see. We choose either a or b to start. So okay, let's choose a, because you can actually choose any attribute to start with. Now I'm going to use a different color. Let me use this color. So let me start with a. Okay, so a can take either of two values, can take either true or false. So you represent the two values in this way. So we have true and we have false. Okay, so when a takes true, we can now draw a subset of this table. A has true, and this time you are specifying this table as a subset, and then we have the output. So we have true and true for A, and we have true, and we have false, we have true. So we have false, we have true. So basically we are dividing this table at this point. So if A is true, the class can either be false or true. So if A is true, B is going to be false or true. So at this point, we are going to be checking the value of B. Okay? So you mean I circle this and circle this as well. So I'm going to check B to be either, if A is true, B can be true or false. So B can be false and B can be true as well. So if B is false, although we remember we are in this place, so if B is false, the output is going to be false, and if B is true, the output is going to be true, right? So this is the final output, and now when A is false, at this point we are at this lower part of it. If A is false, so B can either be true or false, but whatever class B is not important, because the class will always be false. So we have false at this point. So in this case, we have something called a feature-based decision table or attribute-based decision table. Attributes-based. So again, the key thing you need to know when you are told to build a decision tree is to choose an attribute to start from. I choose the attribute to start, in this case, with A. I could also have chosen with B, but I've sensed that it seems to be better to choose A. So this is a decision that you have to make at some point. Then based on that decision, you now check the value of the other attributes. So in this case, we are checking the value of B. Assuming there is another attribute, we also set the value of B at this point and check the value of other attributes. In this case, this last column is a class and not attribute, and then we actually terminate at this point. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to also remind you to subscribe to my channel, and also I'm going to make a write-up of decision trees, discussing details comprehensively in about maybe two presentations or two posts I'm going to write. But for now, these are the basics of decision trees, and this is how to build it. Also remember, feature-based decision tree or attribute-based decision tree and rule-based decision tree. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to mention that in the next lesson we are going to discuss logistic regression.